surprise, motherfucker.
Oh my god. I know.
You! Parker!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? ELT coming at you with another Marvel Spider-Man related video, and today we are talking about more rumors. This one quite interesting. This article is coming to you from PlayStation Lifestyle, and the new rumor is Insomniac's next Spider-Man will include Venom, which a lot of us assumed, but they also say Carnage. I don't see that coming, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And new swinging mechanics. That's obvious. The article reads, more rumors have surfaced online concerning Insomniac's next Spider-Man adventure. This batch comes from Reddit. Again, comes from Reddit, so of course, take it with a grain of salt. But from Reddit's Gaming Leaks and Rumors portal. But the account does claim that Marvel's Spider-Man sequel will launch in late 2021. Again, a lot of us assume that on PlayStation 5. Very obvious. And furthermore, the rumors suggest a host of new characters are on the cards, such as Venom, assumed, Carnage, didn't see that coming, and Mysterio, fingers crossed.
I am Mysterio, here to save the world from the evils of technology corrupting the human spirit.
Are we being punked? I hate that.
Supposedly, Utopian Throwaway 90, which is the name of the account, received this information from their contact, who's familiar with the sequel's development. The leak outlines the rumor details in a long list, alleging that Insomniac's follow-up will take place during the winter, which would be really cool. We never really had a Spider-Man game take place during the winter. 5 to 6 months after the first game's events, Peter Parker then is still mourning Aunt May's death while he lives with Mary Jane. She doesn't appear much in the narrative's first act. Like the first installment, the new entry will offer nothing short of a complete single-player experience. No multiplayer components will be added, unfortunately. I was hoping for an online Spider-Verse mode and made a bunch of videos about that. Go check those out if you haven't seen so. But what fans should expect to see added, according to the rumor, are Queens and Brooklyn. So that's 2 new boroughs in New York instead of just the main hub of Manhattan. To accommodate these areas, Insomniac is implementing new swinging mechanics for low building traversal, which of course they will have to do if they want to accurately represent Queens and Brooklyn. They're not really known for their tall buildings like Midtown Manhattan, Times Square, that have a bunch of tall buildings, the Empire State Building, etc., etc. Queens and Brooklyn have more normal sized buildings, so you would have to come up with a new way of traversal than just swinging like crazy off of the top of rooftops. New villains will appear too, courtesy of super soldier cloning experiments gone wrong by Oscorp. As teased in the first game's post-credits scene, Harry Osborn will become Venom. However, Utopian Throwaway 90 claims Insomniac intends to subvert expectations on this particular front. The studio further plans to introduce Spider-Man rogues Carnage and Mysterio to its ongoing universe, as well as Eddie Brock. The latter will serve as a major character throughout the narrative. So this rumor over here, take it with a massive grain of salt, but they claim that Harry Osborn will be Venom, Carnage is going to be there in some shape or form. They're also going to have Eddie Brock. It sounds very complicated for a story, just reading this article alone, so I don't see this as a factual rumor. I see this more as a fan theory because it does seem a little all over the place. Why would you have Harry Osborn be Venom and then you also have Eddie Brock just magically show up? If anything, if there is some truth behind any of these rumors, I would assume that Harry Osborn will be Venom like we saw at the end post-credit scene of the first game, unless he turns out to be Carnage. But I'm assuming Harry Osborn will be Venom, and maybe Insomniac will decide to go the ultimate Spider-Man route, and maybe they'll make Peter Parker Carnage for a brief amount of time, borrowing from the Ultimate Comics and the actual video game which came out years ago, where Peter Parker is temporarily Carnage That could be cool, considering Miles Morales is going to be a different Spider-Man in this universe, so you could have Spider-Man versus Carnage, with Carnage actually being Peter Parker and Spider-Man actually being Miles Morales. I could see that being cool. I could also see a really cool boss fight between Harry Osborn Venom and Peter Parker Carnage. That could be really cool. But as for them just randomly introducing Eddie Brock out of nowhere, if they already have Harry Osborn as Venom, I don't really see that, which is why I am not really buying too much of this rumor. The article, however, does go on and says that Miles Morales will return as a playable character for certain sections again. However, Insomniac continues to toy with the idea of letting players free roam as him. Apparently, the system that's currently in place mirrors that of Batman Arkham Knight, wherein players switch to other Bat family characters. Utopian Throwaway 90 doesn't specify whether this refers to Arkham Knight's dual play combat mechanics, which allows players to switch between, say, Batman and Nightwing on the fly during combat. The Redditor's source additionally made note of a new web chain mechanic. With it, Spidey can chain together web zips, so when you reach a point, he immediately zips to the next, and so on. This sounds very much like the web rush that was in the Amazing Spider-Man games, where you could just pick a point, web rush to it, and then on the fly, I want to go over there. He web rushes over there. Now I want to go over there and over there and over there. It was a really cool feature back in the Amazing Spider-Man games. Granted, it was a little clunky at times. I'm pretty sure if Insomniac does go this route, theirs will be a lot more smoother and a lot more fluid. Web swinging itself has allegedly received an overhaul. The animations, for instance, will be much more varied, meaning players won't repeatedly see the same animations. To accomplish this, Insomniac is bringing the swing release animations from the Spider-Man PS4 title and adding many more. Reportedly, the studio has 2 animators devoted to working exclusively on swinging release animations. This is pretty much given. If there was anything that I was to believe is 100% true from this Reddit leak or rumor or whatever you want to call it, it would be that it's pretty much obvious that we are going to get some form of new web swinging in the game. They're not just going to copy paste the exact same web swinging from Spider-Man PS4 over to Spider-Man PS5. Granted, the web swinging was good in Spider-Man PS4, but just a direct copy and paste, that would be incredibly lazy. They are going to change some things up. We are probably going to see some new animations. We probably are going to get some more parkour. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I would like to be able to do parkour, through cars and trucks and subway trains, kind of like how we saw in the Raimi movies. Moreover, the rumor asserts Insomniac's sequel will feature 3 swing modes: realistic, arcade, and hybrid. While the names aren't final, their basic functions seem set in stone. Realistic is very Spider-Man 2-esque, meaning it relies on pure physics. Arcade mode offers fake assistance. Finally, hybrid combines the two for something that will feel akin to the PS4 entry mechanics. Now, this also doesn't sound too true to me. It could be a possibility. I would like to see to get more realistic swinging and also have the option for more movie style swinging like we did get in the PS4 game. However, this does sound like something that we've already seen before. I believe actually it was Spider-Man 2. The game had a more regular swinging style, or if you wanted a more arcade experience where they kind of helped you out a little bit. I don't see this coming, but if it is coming, I wouldn't necessarily mind it. Of course, if we do get fall damage, I would love fall damage. The fact that we don't get fall damage in Spider-Man PS4 is kind of weird at times, especially if you just dive right off the Empire State Building and just land on your feet perfectly fine. That's kind of stupid. So hopefully we do get something along these lines. However, I don't see this coming. And then the article concludes with, while much of this certainly sounds feasible, it's worth remembering these are mere rumors. As such, they should be taken with a grain of salt, of course. Any rumors that you hear, especially from places like Reddit, you're really not supposed to believe. However, sometimes there are some small, tiny grains of truth. And like I said throughout this video, there are a few things that I do see coming. New web swinging, that's obvious. A bigger map, Queens, Brooklyn, maybe one or the other, if not both. But I do suspect a bigger map. They're not just going to copy and paste. That would be incredibly lazy. New animations, that's obvious. Venom, it was teased at the end of the first game, so it's almost a given that there will be some sort of symbiote in this game, whether that be Eddie Brock Venom, or Harry Osborn Venom, or just Peter Parker with the black suit and no Venom at all until Spider-Man 3. That we'll have to wait and see. Carnage, I have no idea about Carnage unless they really have a masterpiece of a story. A lot of this sounds like it could be too much and too many new villains introduced into the story. But I do see a couple of truths within this article. What are your thoughts on this? Do you want to see Venom and Carnage in the game, or do you just want Venom? Maybe you don't want Venom or Carnage at all. Maybe you just want the Green Goblin instead. Let me know all that in the comment section down below. And of course, until next time, this is ELT, signing out.